Today's guest, PJ Hill, is a close friend of mine and someone that I really respect and look up to in the way that, one, that he's emerged as a community leader and a social leader and a political leader in the last few years here in Minneapolis, and really used his position both with his background in professional sports, in basketball, and his career in finance to not only propel himself to a very high level of success, but also reach back and educate people on how they can follow in his footsteps, how they can build generational wealth. And we really talk about that today, some of our story, but generational wealth and some of the opportunities in Web3 to build wealth and how that can really be accessible to almost everyone. Appreciate you coming on the show, being here. It's probably been a long time coming. I know we've been talking about this.
Facts. You're my boy, man. I'm so grateful to be on here. We done been through the trenches together.
Man, where did we meet first? Was it
the marches, bro?
The march, yeah.
Protesting, fighting for the people.
I think it was that first march outside of US Bank Stadium.
Yeah, fighting for the people.
Yeah.
You was just there. And I really loved it because you was down for the cause. And you know me, my heart is for the people.
It was different time. But I mean, it was one of those times when I think a lot of us just felt like we had to do something.
Facts. And like you said, just to piggyback off that, like young people, and it didn't matter what color you are, because we was at a lot of the protests. It wasn't just black people out there.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it's majority other people. And that's what we need, I think, as we start to evolve things. How do we liberate from the system, but it be the young people that's going to change the way for us.
I do remember that the day with the truck on the bridge. I was standing on the intersection, and people were just getting riled up, and the police were out there. I remember specifically, you had your vest, probably the same vest on.
The black one.
The black one on. Yeah. You were out there trying to calm everyone down, talking to the police, just like really orchestrating the whole thing and trying to bring people together. And I think we chopped it up for a few minutes after that, and I was like, okay, this dude is someone, right? And then the rest is history. It's been 2 years of projects, voter turnout campaigns, deals of many kinds.
Facts.
But yeah, really appreciate you.
Facts, bro. No, that's it. And it's not like I ever wanted to say I wanted to be in the spotlights. I just used my gift to change people's lives, bro. And at that time, my gift is basically people and leadership. And so then, in the most adverse times, that's when people either rise to the occasion or bust. And that was just my thing. Like, how can I get all these people out off the bridge safely? Because, you was part of the leadership. People have trusted their lives to follow us out there. So we got to make sure they cool. Whether we wanted to go out there or not, we ain't even going to talk about that. But,
Facts.
We ended up out there, so now we got to make sure.
You have to. And that's the thing to piggyback off that. Really one of the reasons I started this podcast was to talk about leadership, right? And what does the next generation of leaders look like? And that's responsibility is like the biggest thing that has hit me. The more people that work for me now and that I feel personally responsible for. It's like when you put yourself out there as a leader and you say follow me, you got to be responsible for the outcome of those words.
Facts.
You got to stand by that.
Facts. I think everything you're doing, first of all, I want to just take some time out just to give you your flowers, bro. Everything that you've done, I mean, it's been absolutely amazing. You young, you smart, you really into tech, but you really into giving people an opportunity. And, I admire that. That's why a lot of the deals I do, I try to best, how can I involve your company, A-Turn and Media, you and Tyler, y'all my guys. But it's number one, integrity and trust. And you guys are doing things first for people, and then, helping create wealth for people. And that's two things that are right close to my heart.
And I appreciate all the words, and likewise, I definitely see you ascending as a leader too, like from when we first met, obviously, being the VP of the NAACP and now moving up in the financial world, and also not just moving up, but giving back, right? Because it seems like the more, and this is, my philosophy as well, but the more that you move up, it's like the more that you got to give those breadcrumbs back and help people, follow in your footsteps, right? Because otherwise, what's the point?
100%. I think, a big part of my success is how do I help more people? How do I change more lives? And along the way, I've always achieved everything. And what does it say in the good book? Many are the plans of a man's heart, but it's the Lord's purpose that will prevail. And I'm living my greatest life now by changing other people's lives. And that's what brings me success and brings me joy. So not only getting success, but filling my bucket too. How do I do both?
So talk about finance, right? I mean, maybe just give a quick background on, how you got into finance, because you were a pro basketball player for a while, right?
Yeah, bro. I played professional basketball. The greatest experience ever. I've been to 51 countries, got to travel the world. To be able to do things like that, I come from very humble beginnings. I grew up 26 in Cedar, basically in Little Earth on a native reservation. So to be able to, see the world and then have my skills that I have in basketball provide me the opportunity to be able to transition into wealth management was just incredible. And it's all because a guy who was a VP at Wells Fargo took a chance on me to give me an opportunity because he seen something in me. And, we all have people who open doors for us. So that's why I am so about paying it forward, because somebody opened doors for me. And finance has been amazing. I was at Wells Fargo Private Client Group, then in a private bank, and then now I transferred to North Rock Partners, independent investment firm. And it's been awesome, bro. Changed my life.
So tell me, I know you do a lot in the community with financial education, financial literacy. Why are you so passionate about financial literacy specifically in your community with all the work that you do?
Man, I'm really passionate because I experienced it, man. Like, my mom and dad, they taught us how to save, but they didn't really tell us how to make our money, to make money for us. And as we all know, like, if you just saving your money, inflation is eating it. It's becoming worth less and less and less. Just look at it. The price of gas 20 years ago literally was like $1.83. Now it's like $4. So if I just had my money sitting in cash, it's not worth a lot. And I think the way you learn and you're able to grow is through knowledge. Mm-hmm. And so many times our communities, and I'm just talking about like more inner cities and poverty communities, have been not had access to that knowledge. That's right. A barrier. And so that's why I want to be able to liberate people economically. And I think if I can do that and give them the knowledge to be able to liberate them from the system dependence, then it gives people their true freedom back.
100%. I mean, that's really one of the reasons why, I have a finance degree, but not just finance, but Web3 to me is a huge opportunity to do just that. Liberate people from the system in a lot of ways and give them ownership.
Facts. And ownership is important. I was talking to you earlier, like, that's why I love Web3. Like, it allows you not to depend on a system and really own your data. And that means something right now. Technology is so dope because it's the great equalizer. And it allows us, somebody who comes from a community, to learn anything I want and then have real ownership of it. Like, you see people create NFTs in their houses, bro, living with friends and all that, and then turning into millionaires.
Changing their lives.
That's dope, bro. And that's what we want. That's a form of the new American dream, and not being liberated by the system.
What's most exciting to you? I don't know how much you can talk about on the finance side, but with Web3 and finance, what's most interesting to you as far as like what's coming out of crypto and in that space?
Yeah, I think for me, and it's so much information that I got to learn. I'm not an expert in that space. I'm gonna be always the first to say that if I don't really understand it. But the dope part for me is the ownership part. Mm-hmm. And so if I can introduce people to this technology, give them a chance to be able to do something to level their playing field, I think that's it for me. Now, I'm really big also into real estate. So how do I, like how we talked about earlier, leverage some of the technology and then, form syndications through tokens, through, giving people access through NFTs. So now remove every single barrier for them to create wealth. Remove all of that. Most people can't participate in real estate because it's too expensive. Mm-hmm. But if I say you buy this NFT, this buys you a spot in a syndication. Now you have a tangible asset that is tied to a digital asset. What can we do, bro?
Well, and that's the thing is, like, a lot of the barriers to entry they're not even actually financial, they're literally just red tape. They're literally just bureaucracy. Like with real estate, you got to understand how to operate in that world and do the deals. But if there's a way that you could just we were talking about earlier, fund a development project through tokens, right? Tokenize your development project, let the whole community participate at a very small level,
Yep.
like entry price, so that they can actually start participating in ownership, and then not have to go through all that red tape. And then you can also then take that money that you just raised through tokens for your development project. Instead of giving the bank a percentage on a loan, you can go put it in a stable coin, make a safe 6 to 8% yield. Now you're making, you just invented money, right? You just invented a new way to make money and everyone benefits.
Facts. That's the definition of group economics. And that's what we want to do. It's strength in numbers, and it's strength in being free. And how do we get creative with the help of technology to give people access? That's all I want to do. And then from there, people can decide on what they want to do. Give them the knowledge, give them the access, and then allow them and their creativity to just take over.
100%. So I'm curious, being in the finance world now, how was your experience, playing I know you played at the highest level in college and had a ton of success. How was your experience playing basketball informed you or prepared you for what you're doing now?
Man, that's an excellent question. The thing that basketball did for me, it taught me discipline and consistency. There's so many lessons that can be learned from sports. That's why I always encourage all kids to play some kind of sports, because you learn how to work hard. You learn how to maybe be on teams with people that you may not always like, to work towards a common goal. But you all of these lessons I learned through basketball. The discipline to be able to do something every single day. I just applied that same formula to life, and it has helped me just outperform people who have way more capacity, way more knowledge. I'm nowhere near the smartest person in the room. I just get up every day and I perform. And I'm going to get up earlier than you, and I'm going to work harder than you. And that's just what I did in basketball. And that's what I do in life.
It's work ethic.
That's it, bro. Basketball taught me that, though. Because I didn't have no other way out. It was either basketball or nothing. I graduated high school, and I didn't fill out one college application, bro.
No, because you got a scholarship.
I didn't even have no scholarships at that time. Remember,
Really?
I went junior. So let me just tell you my story a little bit. Bro, I graduated high school, didn't have one scholarship. Not Division I, Division II, nothing. Bro, I went to a junior college in Texas. And how I got there, my AAU coach was coaching at the time. His name was James Ware. I was, never forget this, jumping on my uncle's trampoline in his yard, just trying to figure out what I'm going to do with my life, bro. And he said, look, there's one spot left. You can come down here and try out at this junior college in Texas. I said, of course, man, I'll come down there and try out. I came down there, worked out with the guys, tried out. The coach offered me a full ride right on the spot.
Crazy.
So I called my mom and dad, like, boom, look, I'm going to Midland. Played at Midland. We ended up winning a national championship. Fast forward to like a couple months later in the summer, there was a top 100 junior college players camp. Originally, I wasn't even invited, bro. At the time, I'm in Florida with my sister, who's 3 years younger than me, and you know her, Taylor, who was like all world. She was first team USA and everything. I'm with her. My coach called me at 12 o'clock at midnight and says, PJ, it's one spot left in this camp. Would you be interested in coming? I said, bro, how am I going to get there, bro? The camp is in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm in Florida. My mom and dad gave me enough money to get back home. I didn't have no money to get there, bro. Missed all the flights. Asked everybody I knew. Nobody had some money. I ended up asking Troy Bell, bro, for the money. Former NBA player. I said, listen, if you borrow me this money, I'll pay you back. I'm going to go down here. I'm going to do my thing. I promise you. He said, you don't even got to pay me back. Gave me the money. Helped me rent a car. I drove 13 hours throughout the night. Man. Got there the next day. Played. Killed. Next day after that, Ohio State offered me a full ride. That's how I got to Ohio State.
It's an incredible story. And just think about, you talk about opening doors. If that one AAU coach hadn't given you that call, that's one door. That's a whole life.
Facts. That's why I open doors for so many people, man. That's why I give people. I'm basically a voice at a table that people will never be able to have. That's what I want to do, and be a bridge, and allow people to cross either way. So, for somebody like yourself, you're lucky enough to be that bridge for so many people. But so many people don't have people how they can get access to these corporate executives, these corporate leaders. That's what I am, the bridge. Not only for people to come from the community to corporate America or the community to politics or to law enforcement, but from the other way around. From people in corporate America to come to community and be able to meet us on our side and truly build cultural residency. To ascend, ain't this called ascend?
Yeah, ascendance.
Yeah, like how do you ascend to the next level? And this is what we do by being bridges. We help people to ascend where they are in their current understanding.
100%, and I love that. And it's, I mean, just like in finance, right? I mean, you see it all the time with quarterly earnings. You know, just short term. You know, got to make that next quarter. You got to make this money, and that's growth, right? But that's great in the short term. But you know, as leaders now, I feel like, you know, for especially the positions that we put ourselves in different ways, you know, there's a responsibility to actually look at where is that growth going, right?
Facts.
And you know, for yourself, right, in the long term, it's, you know, people underestimate. I forget exactly what the quote is. People underestimate what they can, overestimate what they can do in 6 months, but they underestimate what they can do in 10 years, or something like that. And it's like, if you don't have that vision, you're not working towards it, right? You might be growing, you might be going somewhere, but you might miss out on your opportunity or your potential or that door you were supposed to get through, because you're only focused on that short-term growth. You weren't focused on ascendance. You weren't focused on, you know, really creating a vision or pushing towards something that's going to like actually, you know, create that tangible impact long-term instead of just, you know, that next week or that next month.
No, you're spot on, bro. And I think, you know, I mean, that's the hardest thing to, it says in the Bible, man, as a man thinketh, so is he. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So how do you be able to have enough courage to imagine yourself outside of your current situation and try to ascend to that level, and then have enough discipline and consistency to do something every day, whether it's small or not, to get there? And I think the journey is what messes a lot of people up. They've fallen so much in love with the destination that they miss the journey. And the journey is where you build character. The journey is where you get the skills to keep you successful, to keep you in that vision or that vision that you have of yourself. That's how you continue to ascend. So fall in love with the process, and then you will develop the character. You will develop the traits that you need to sustain you at that vision that you see of yourself.
Because you can't skip steps.
Bro, there's only shortcuts only lead to failure.
I know. I made the first couple large deals that I closed. I was like, man, I made it, right? Like I've been struggling for a couple years, just trying to figure out how to be an entrepreneur. You know, a couple deals can change your life.
Facts.
But then getting that money, you realize, okay, I still have all the same problems. I'm still the same person that I was 2 days ago before I had that money in my bank account.
Facts.
Right.
Fact. Bro, I tell people this all the time. If you think money solves issues, you ain't never had no money.
Facts.
Because it doesn't.
It amplifies it.
Yes. And money is only a tool. It's only a tool. It only makes you more of who you are, bro. Or it only magnifies your situation even more. Actually having money in a lot of situations complicates things.
Mm-hmm.
Because then people are so focused on the money that they forget the vision or the goal. And that's why I do business with you and Tayo a lot. Because it's bigger than us in money, bro. That's not the tool that we measure our success by. We measure by impact. We measure by how many people can we get access to this Web3 information to liberate them. And that's what our success is. And we're measuring people, bro, and impact. It's not money.
Yeah, with Web3, it's, I mean, literally access to information could change your life. I mean, Tayo does an incredible job with the youth that, you know, that he's been mentoring for so many years, and he set up this program, right, where we have 10 kids interning for us right now from Highland Park High School, working on an NFT project, right? They literally came to an event with us 3 weeks ago. There was Target execs at that event and other corporate execs. Those people were talking to those kids like, hey, I want to talk to you. I want to, you know, let's get you an internship. Let's figure something out, right? That's a door that could literally change someone's life. But it's not hard. It's just access to information and someone putting the intention and the time behind saying, hey, I'm going to make sure that this person, this kid, this group of people has access to this information. I'm going to give them a shot. I'm going to give them an opportunity. Even if it's small, right? It's a foot in the door.
Facts. That's what I admire most about y'all. And how do we remove every barrier to being successful? And that's what we're trying to do. That's why I love Web3. It's a great equalizer, bro. Technology is a great equalizer. So how do we help people use it and then be able to not only understand it, how do we help people to understand it and then apply their understanding?
Right.
Have
And actually
applied
give them
knowledge.
the frameworks and the entrepreneurial resources and the community and the safety nets and the mentorship
Facts.
and the mental health resources and everything that it takes to actually support a person.
Yeah,
because just having the tech or just having the money doesn't.
Facts. And then not limiting. Tell them, like, well, I forgot how the quote goes. We set them up in the right place, but not tell them where to look. And then let their creativity take them as far. Because like you said, even your person who does your camera stuff, just how people see the world is totally different. And if you allow people's creativity to take over, it'll be so dope, bro.
100%.
And that's what I do. I don't box people in. Don't tell them where to look. I just let them do their thing.
That reminds me of a story you told me once. It was about why you should be a thermostat, not a thermometer.
Yeah.
Could you tell me that again? Because I
Facts.
found that really meaningful.
And it's about being a change agent. So here it is. A thermometer can only measure the temperature in a room, right? A thermometer can only react to outside forces. That's all it can do. It can't really change. It's so dependent, so reactive. But a thermostat not only has the ability to measure the temperature in the room or the social climate in the room, but it has the ability to change it. A thermostat is special because it knows exactly what it needs to do to get the temperature back to where it needs to be. So that's what we all should strive to be, is thermostats, change agents, not just view things, but get in there and make something happen.
100%. No, and I love that, and I've definitely seen you definitely are someone who embodies that quality of a change agent, and from everything that you've done in the corporate world to the community. So kudos to you, and yeah, that's definitely something that really aligns with the purpose of the show and the purpose that I think we both align with, which is how can we be leaders that actually leave behind some kind of tangible impact, right? How do we not just change ourselves, but we change the narrative, right?
Facts.
On a bigger scale.
Facts.
And so with that, my last question to you would be, say if you were to die tomorrow, right? What is the one thing, what is the one message or the one thing that you would want people to remember from PJ Hill? Like, what did you leave the world with?
Bro, nobody has ever asked me that question. But that's the true mark of your legacy. I think this would be a layered question. That's a really good question. Number one, I would want my family to know that I was a good dad, and that I was a good husband, and then for my community and everybody who know me, that I was a person who gave my all to community and opened as many doors as possible. My ultimate goal in life is to make 1,000 black people millionaires. I'm always open about that. So I want to be able to leave my community and my people with a legacy and a better place than they found it. Because here's what I know, man. Though we all have different stories, we share common hopes. Hopes to be able to raise our families in a good, safe environment. Hopes to be able to provide the basic necessities. But lastly, hopes to be able to leave our families, our neighborhoods, our communities, our state, our nation in a better place than we found it. And that's how I want people to remember me.
Beautiful. Appreciate you being on the show.
Thank you, Brody. My guy. Love.